So, is there really such a thing as divine timing in your life and the timing of how things progress and happen for you? I want to share a little bit with you today about some things I've been receiving in my spirit about divine timing from my spirit team. If you are feeling like you're waiting for something to happen or you've been working towards something, this might be an episode to stay tuned to. I would love also if you would leave a 5-star review and a comment wherever you're watching it, whether it is on the podcast or on YouTube, to help spread this message to more people. Welcome to the Soul Alignment Mentor Podcast. I'm your host, Angie, and I'm inviting you to explore the depths of self-sabotage, limiting mindsets, and the beliefs that hinder our progress in life. Through intuitive messages I receive from my spirit team, I share profound insights to help you live authentically and break free from these limitations. Join me now as we uncover all the keys to living your best life. Welcome back. My name is Angie, and I am your Soul Alignment Mentor, bringing intuitive messages for you to help align you with your most authentic and highest self. So today I want to talk about divine timing. It is January 1st, therefore, according to the calendar in which we go by currently, it is the new year. It is New Year's Day. So we have a whole year ahead of us to manifest and align and to do things with our life. However, just astrology, just a little bit of insight on here, the actual new year starts March 19th. So if you're not feeling super motivated right now, if you're not feeling energized to set goals or do things right now, it could be because you're meant to be in a moment of slumber. You're meant to be in a moment of quiet. You're meant to be kind of spending more time right now doing some inner reflecting, doing some thinking, and resting and preparing for the actual energetic new year, which starts in Aries season, March 19th. And the Aries is the beginning of the astrological year. So be a little gentle with yourself this time of year if you are not feeling super motivated to do a lot of things or work towards your goals. But I particularly want to talk today about the energy of trusting divine timing and the universe having things set in place for us to follow within our human life. I hear a lot of people talking about quantum leaping, manifesting, um, kind of skipping over the hard parts of your life and suddenly having things working out or achieving things or receiving things. And it's not that I don't believe that this can happen. I absolutely believe that we can shift our mindset. We can shift the timing of things. We can shift timelines. There's all these things that I do believe that we can do. However, I also have this understanding from the connections that I've had with spirit on the other side that we come with a mission of our human life being a part of our expansion and growth of our highest self and our spirit. And that mission is centered around the energy of love. And our spirit chooses to come to earth to have specific lessons in order for us to expand in that energy and to understand ourselves, to understand source energy, and to understand how to expand the universe in a different frequency. And so I want to kind of give you a little bit of insight why trying to quantum leap past things in your life to achieve things might be a little bit more detrimental than just trusting the timing of the universe and aligning your highest self, your spirit with the mission that you have on earth. When we're so focused on achieving something or getting something or suddenly having our life look a certain way, we actually are attempting to skip all the lessons that are actual spirit came to learn here on earth. And the lessons involve contrast. The contrast that we go through in our lifetime, whether that be through lack, through traumatic events, through loss, or maybe the cultural aspect that you live in, or the family dynamic that you live in, whatever it may be. It could be a multiple things that your spirit chose to experience when it came here to earth. Those lessons that come along with those experiences are actually important, and they're a part of your evolution as a soul. Our soul, our spirit, has these things that it wants to come to earth to experience. And once it's experienced it, it grows and expands from that experience. And so I have been fortunate to have done a few past life regression uh, where I've gone under hypnosis, or I've done a meditation where I've been able to see some past lives that I've had. And I'm not going to go into super details about this because there's some things that I've learned about my past lives that I'm not ready to reveal yet. But what I did learn, there was an evolution that my soul has gone through where it's played a significant part in the spiritual growth of where I am now in this lifetime. And there have been lifetimes that I was connected with more of my spirituality. There was been lifetimes where I've been connected with my religious aspect. There's been lifetimes where I wasn't really connected with anything spiritually. And in this lifetime, what I've noticed that's been really interesting is that there's a combination of what I've learned in past lifetimes kind of integrating together in this lifetime. And because I've gone through a process of coming into this life, I was not born into a religious family. I was not born into a super spiritual family. Didn't go to church every Sunday. We would go, on Easter, the holidays, things like that. But really wasn't forced into any kind of spiritual understanding or religious understanding at a young age. But as I got older, because of experiences that I did have spiritually, where I could see things, I could hear things, I had interesting experiences with understanding the energy of healing. I had a spirit in my room as a young child, and these things. I remember the older I got, the more curious I became about spiritual things. And I would say probably around 8 to 10 to 12 years old is when I really started to question my own spirituality. And I remember somebody had given me a necklace that had a cross on it. And I had wore that cross necklace daily. And this is prior to me even getting involved in religion and church. I wore that thing every single day, and I felt like it protected me. I felt like it helped me. And I remember I broke it. I broke the cross off the actual chain. And I thought that there would be something bad that would happen to me. I had this feeling that I needed to fix it. And so I remember I took like a piece of wire, and I tied the cross back onto the chain, and I hung it on my dresser. And I would lay on my bed and I would look at this cross, and I would think about it, and I would wonder about it, and I would think about God, and I would think about Jesus, and I would think about spirituality. And I was always very curious about the spiritual aspects of the world. And then as I got older, around 15, 16 is when I started going to church. I had a good friend that was involved in the youth group, the local youth group that was really big at the time I was younger. And they kept inviting me to come, and I didn't want to go, honestly. I remember I made fun of Christians quite a bit before I started going to church. And then I ended up going to a camp. And it was at this camp that I for the first time in my life, I started to feel emotions. And I was not living in a super great home. I was living in a abusive home setting and had not shared any of the things happening to me with anybody outside of the home. And at this time, I began to feel very emotional. It was almost like I started getting in touch with emotions I had never felt in my body. And those around me believed that I was actually accepting the Lord. And so I went with it. And I can't tell you that I didn't feel a shift. I think that I began to understand what love was at the time, but I really didn't integrate that into my life at the time. And so at the age 16, I found myself very involved in the church. And as I grew older, I ended up following the crowd to a Christian college. And then I found myself in going on missions trips overseas. And then I found myself supporting the church by volunteering, by working with the youth, by being on the women's ministry, by doing all these things and like pouring myself into this setting. And when I had my spiritual awakening in 2016, and my spirit team came through and told me, you're doing it wrong. This is not how you're supposed to be doing it. It completely shifted everything I believed about myself and the world around me, about what my mission on earth was, what I was here to do, what I actually was meant to be sharing with the world as well. As somebody that worked in the mental health field since I came out of high school, really, I always knew I wanted to help people heal. I always knew I wanted to support and help people in some way. But I always kept myself pretty small out of fear of messing things up or that I wasn't good enough to do something. And as I've had my awakening and I've gone through my own healing process over the last 8 years, and particularly the last probably 4 years, 3 to 4 years, where it's been the most intense healing process for me, I have begun to understand the timing of my life and why certain things happened in the timing that it did. And my time that I had in the church was a significant part of my life that has helped me understand the religious side of spirituality and why that came into place on the earth, but also integrating and healing from that in order to align with my true spiritual self that's outside of religion, that I've been able to connect with higher dimensions and spirits and be able to be a medium and a psychic and a channel for spirits. Had I attempted to, when I came out of my religious, out of the religious setting in 2016, and I had this very quick awakening, it was very sudden. I had all kinds of things that shifted for me. It was the best and worst time of my life, to be honest. I had a lot of loss that I experienced. I had a lot of shiftings. I had a lot of job changes, things like that. And had I known about quantum leaping back then, I probably would have wanted to quantum leap through all those things because I didn't really enjoy the process of going through it. But I look back at that time and I understand that that process, the going through that, was actually a part of me integrating my spiritual understanding a little bit more with my ego's programming and my ego's understanding, to bring more of a balance and a healing into my ego that allowed me to guide and lead in the energy of love more so than trying to allow my ego to be seen. Now, I am still human. I still fight this. I will be healing for the remainder of this lifetime. There is not anything that I believe that I will completely overcome and completely achieve in this lifetime. I will always be working to be in alignment with my highest self. But I also understand that there is growth and there's progress and there is the ability to integrate these things into our life where they no longer are a struggle for us. It just takes time. And so when we are in a place of wanting to see a change, of wanting to see growth or wanting to see something come into our life, if we're more focused on achieving that and seeing that come forward instead of the growth and process of getting to it and allowing ourselves to be in the present moment in using the present moment to heal and guide us towards where we want to be, we could be quantum leaping into this space that we actually end up not liking, or we quantum leap into it and we are there in our ego, and then we have to maintain it through the ego. So it's really important to understand that sometimes the process of growth in getting to where you desire to be also includes needing to focus on where you are now, focus on the healing, focus on integrating that higher dimensional thinking into your ego, into your human essence, without jumping clear through it into what you think will be fulfilling or successful for you. Because there's a lot of people that achieve great things and they're still not happy. And you hear about this all the time. That's with celebrities, that's with people that win the lottery, that's with people that suddenly have an inheritance that they can use to spend on things. This doesn't actually bring joy and peace and happiness into people's hearts. It actually causes things to be more complicated for them because they're not sure how to maintain that when they get it. And so allowing yourself to trust in the divine timing of your growth in the process of getting to where you want to be and achieving the things that you want to achieve is a this steady uphill progress where there might be times of stagnant energy. There might be times where you come back down a little bit more instead of constantly going up higher. There are times where your spirit team will pull back and teach you to integrate these things and kind of cause you to continue to seek. There might be times that they're more silent, and in that silence, they're trying to teach you how to continue to listen, continue to grow, continue to raise your vibration. Because if we're jumping into all these things in the higher dimensions and we're not actually going through the process of integrating it, that really just puffs the ego up even more so and causes us to be even more um, struggling with our life. Like there's always going to be more and more and more and more that you want because the ego is always going to seek more. Now, it's not a wrong thing. It's not bad to want more. We definitely should be striving to grow and heal and achieve things. But the achieving, it really truly matters, the consciousness and the beliefs and the integration of your higher self and love energy into the achieving process. If you are achieving through the ego, then the ego is going to be what maintains the success of achieving. If you are achieving through the spirit, then you can relax and rely on the spirit's guidance without the need of striving. It's, I think about the leaf lessons I write about in my first book, the leaf lesson about the leaf striving to fight against a rock and get around the rock. But when it finally relaxes, the water picks up the leaf and moves it around a rock. If you have not read my first book, Leaf Lessons, I encourage you to go get that on Amazon. You can order it online or you can read it online as well. But I share about the vision I had in 2024 or 2004. Gosh, that's been 20 years now. That's crazy. About this leaf that was going down the stream and how it gets stuck behind a rock. And I could tell if the leaf would stop fighting against the rock and it just laid back in the water would just automatically take it around the rock, and the striving released and the growth came. So I encourage you to grab that book to read it. I will say there's some triggering stuff in there because I do talk a little bit about my healing in my trauma. So if you've been through any type of trauma, I just want to give you that heads up. And I also encourage you to get my second book, Composing Ego, where I have channel messages that I've brought through from spirit about how to integrate and balance out the ego with the spirit, because our ego is not our enemy. I think a lot of people want to rid the ego from our existence, but we came to experience our ego. Our ego is an important part of our evolution and our progress of growth. And so that's why I'm talking about the need to trust the universe and the divine timing that the universe has for us instead of jumping through hoops or jumping over the things we might want to not experience in our life to get to where we want to be. And so that is where living in the present moment becomes the most important aspect of our human life, is trusting divine timing, trusting the present moment, and calming our body and mind to be able to be in that trusting energy, because it is the ego, it's the energetic system that wants to strive and control and predict and manipulate its way to where it thinks it needs to be. So I hope this helps somebody. If you are looking for support in any way to integrate this into your daily life, you want to heal your energetic system, you want to release things that are keeping you from trusting divine timing, you want to release the things that maybe you're feeling your spirit wanting to teach you how to release, come join me in my 7-week course. I go through our entire energetic system from our root chakra to our crown. I talk about your spiritual gifts. I talk about how to integrate your intuition with your daily human life. I teach you how to understand your own energy, how to know when you have blocks in your energy, how to know when you picked up energy that's not yours. And I learn how to help you learn how to integrate all that into your daily life. So if you would like to learn that, come join me in my 7-week course. Right now it is an individual one-on-one course. If I can get several people to sign up for it, then I'd be willing to offer it as a course, like a group course, and lower the price a little bit. So if you're interested, reach out, let me know. And maybe if I get several people interested, I will do that, offer that as a group course. So until then, I wish you all the best day, night, evening, whatever time it is for you. I send you all the universal love. Namaste.